The battle for Harrington River. The air hung heavy with cedar and damp earth as I stood on the porch of my family's cabin, nestled deep in the blue hollow valley of northern Oregon. The river, shimmering under the late September sun of 2027, had carved its way through our land for 3 generations. My great-grandfather, Elias, staked this ground in 1948, and every ripple in that water carried his name, Harrington River. But last week, the president of the Pine Valley Homeowners Association, Clara Voss, strutted up my gravel path with a clipboard and a smirk, declaring the river wasn't mine anymore. By Friday, she and her cronies were lounging by its banks, string lights twinkling, wine glasses clinking like they owned the view. When the county rolled in with cease and desist orders, Clara screeched like I was the intruder. I didn't shout back. I didn't need to. Not yet. A few days later, a notice was slapped on my porch railing, duct-taped, not mailed, like a cheap threat. Bold letters screamed a $12,000 fine for unauthorized land disturbance. I hadn't touched a single shrub. My shoulders still ached from stacking firewood, but the thick paper and the way it flapped in the wind told me this was no mistake. Someone wanted me rattled. Before I could process it, a sleek black SUV crunched up my drive. Out stepped Evelyn Morse, Pine Valley compliance officer, her suit city crisp, heels sharp as her gaze. In her hand, a matte black pin probably worth more than my truck. "Mr. Caleb Harrington," she said, voice syrupy, like she was dropping off a pie instead of a financial gut punch. She handed me a glossy brochure, airbrushed families kayaking, yoga by the river, all branded under Pine Valley Renewal Project. My land, she explained, was now part of their ecological harmony zone. I owed the fine for not aligning with their vague community restoration goals. My great-grandfather's shed, built with hand-hewn timber in '51, was apparently non-compliant. When I mentioned the oak where I'd scattered my father's ashes, her smile tightened. "That's why we're protecting it," she said, her eyes cold as steel. I didn't buy it. That night, I spread the notice across the kitchen table, its burn mark from my grandfather's pipe staring back like an old friend. I dug into county records, my 30 years as a wetland ecologist kicking in. The zoning codes they cited didn't add up. By morning, I was walking the riverbank with a notebook and my phone, snapping photos of every tree, every ripple, every plank of the footbridge my dad and I rebuilt in '99. I filmed the sunrise glinting off the water, labeled it baseline evidence, day 1. I'd seen corporate land grabs before, shell companies burying small towns in paperwork. But this felt personal, like someone had targeted my quiet corner of the world. On day 3, I noticed changes. Solar lanterns hung along the river, a folding table sat near the bend, and a composting toilet lurked under a tarp. A laminated sign staked in the dirt read, "Future Site, Pine Valley Serenity Deck." My blood boiled. This wasn't a plan, it was an invasion. I documented everything: GPS coordinates, tire tracks, even a half-empty coffee mug left on the table, steam still rising. My father's voice echoed in my head, "Don't let them rewrite your story." I drafted a response to the county, citing water rights violations and unpermitted construction. I pulled my great-grandfather's deed from a fireproof box, his cursive staking claim to Harrington River for the boys. That was us, me, my dad, his dad. They weren't just taking land, they were erasing us. Then came the package. No sender, no stamp, just a manila envelope under my doormat. Inside, a single page, parcel review, Pine Valley Transitional Overlay. My land was marked for reallocation, finalized 6 months earlier before Clara's first visit. This was a setup. Then, at 6:17 a.m., an email hit my inbox. No subject, just a zip file. I opened it, and my stomach dropped. My divorce records, my dad's medical charts, even notes from a grief counselor I saw in '23. A single line read, "Back off, or we dig deeper." My hands shook as I dialed Sarah, my old college friend, now a lawyer in Portland. "Caleb," she answered, wary. I told her everything. "You're not alone," she said. "They hit others too." We met at a diner near the county courthouse. Sarah scrolled through the files, her face hardening. "This isn't just a land grab," she said. "They're building psychological profiles to break you." She found links to a shell company, Evergreen Holdings, funneling money through fake eco nonprofits. That's when Mia, a neighbor with a knack for drone photography, joined us. She'd caught footage of illegal dumping in the river trash from Clara's wellness camps. We weren't just fighting for my cabin anymore. We were fighting a machine. Things escalated fast. A community meeting turned ugly when Sarah played a recording of Evelyn saying, "Neutralize Harrington's claim. Isolate him." The crowd gasped as Mia projected drone shots of polluted runoff and forged permits. Then Victor Kane walked in, suit sharp as a blade, representing Evergreen. He claimed my land was misallocated in 48, flashing doctored documents. But Ethan, a local mechanic I'd helped through a rough winter, stood up with a USB. "These are the real deeds," he said, voice trembling. "My aunt's estate proves it." Before he could finish, a gunshot tore through the room. Ethan collapsed, blood pooling. Chaos erupted. Clara was cuffed, sobbing she didn't know it would go this far. Victor vanished. Ethan survived, barely. Evergreen dropped the HOA mask. Black trucks patrolled Blue Hollow, signs reading Evergreen Community Oversight, replacing Pine Valleys. The river was fenced off, the community garden padlocked. But we didn't fold. Sarah traced the operation to Rachel Langley, the real puppet master, not Victor. Her name tied to Shell Trusts and a disgraced lobbyist who'd fleeced eco-grants years before. Mia's videos went viral, and locals packed my cabin for nightly strategy sessions. We planned a live stream from the old town hall, exposing every lie, every forged signature. They tried to stop us. A man named Carter, all polish and menace, warned we'd lose everything if we aired it. We didn't blink. Mia hid backups and hollowed out books. Sarah sent files to newsrooms. The state attorney general called, demanding our evidence. We delivered deeds, footage, financial trails. At the final meeting, Rachel's composure cracked as Sarah listed her crimes: wire fraud, harassment, environmental violations. The crowd roared, not with pain, but with fire. Ethan, bandaged but upright, handed over the last deed. The governor's office launched a task force. Evergreen signs came down. Back at the cabin, the river flowed again, quieter but alive. Frogs croaked, shadows moved. It wasn't whole, but it was ours. Mia and I sat on the porch, her camera still rolling. "Think they'll forgive us for stirring this up?" she asked. I shrugged. Truth doesn't need forgiveness. We built an archive: deeds, interviews, maps to ensure no one rewrites Blue Hollow again. As I watched the water, my great-grandfather's words rang true. The river runs forward, even when they try to dam it. So what's your take? Has your neighborhood been strong-armed by an HOA or a slick corporation? Ever had to fight for what's yours against a machine that doesn't blink? Drop your story below. Hit that like button if this hit home, and subscribe if you're ready to stand up to the next Rebecca Langley in your town. Who's really writing your history, and are you letting them?